There's an untamed essence to life that you only grasp once you cease your relentless efforts. The instant you release your grip, everything you've been pursuing begins to come your way. It's not sorcery, it's not fortune. It's the way energy operates and how life truly unfolds beneath all the clutter we create in our thoughts. You see, when you're holding on too tightly, insisting on a particular outcome, your energy becomes rigid. You start to obstruct the very thing you desire from entering your life. It's akin to attempting to capture a stream with your hands. The tighter you clasp, the more the water escapes through your fingers. Consider all the instances when you were desperate for something, affection, triumph, solutions, and the more you pushed, the farther it seemed to slip away. But when you grew weary, when you declared, "Whatever will be," suddenly pathways emerged, chances presented themselves. Individuals appeared. It's not mere coincidence. When you relinquish the need for something, your energy transitions from lack to faith. And life invariably responds more favorably to faith than to dread. Because needing conveys, "I lack it, and I doubt I ever will," while releasing says, "I am already complete. And if it arrives, wonderful. If not, I remain whole." And that's subtle. Change is what transforms the entire scenario. Most individuals don't comprehend that releasing isn't about surrendering. It's about moving aside just long enough for life to work in your favor instead of against you. When you're constantly attempting to dictate every result, you're acting from fear. Fear that it won't transpire. Fear that you're inadequate. Fear that if you halt your efforts, everything will crumble. But that's the snare. Because life isn't constructed on compulsion. Life is constructed on movement. Have you ever observed how the finest things often manifest when you're simply existing? When you're present, when you're not fixated on the time, when you're not constricting the future so tightly that you can't inhale, ponder it. The friendships that endured, you didn't coerce them. The opportunities that altered your life, you stumbled upon them while you were immersed in your own world, not imploring the universe to acknowledge you. The moments that made you feel vibrant, they weren't orchestrated or fabricated. They were experienced. That's because life isn't reacting to your exertion. It's reacting to your energy. And your energy is most lucid, untainted, and magnetic when you're at ease with yourself. Not needy, not desperate, just trusting. Because when you trust, you're in harmony. And when you're in harmony, the things destined for you don't need to be pursued. They materialize. Here's something seldom shared with people. The more you pursue certainty, the more you actually welcome disorder. Because requiring everything to make sense immediately, demanding every answer right away, it shuts you off from the paths you can't yet perceive. Life possesses an intelligence deeper than your schemes. It's interweaving possibilities, opportunities, encounters, and chances far beyond what your mind can arrange. But when you're clinging tightly to one notion of how things must transpire, you become oblivious to the superior ways life is attempting to present to you. You know those moments when something disintegrates and you panic? You believe it's the worst thing that could occur, and yet months later, you realize it was the best thing that ever transpired for you. That's not a coincidence. That's life addressing your deeper needs, not your superficial fears. The more you relax your hold, the more you release the need for a specific outcome at a specific time, the more space you create for something even better to surge in. Trust isn't passive. Trust is potent. Trust declares, "I am showing up entirely, but I am not desperate for this to appear exactly as I envision." It's about progressing without dragging your expectations like heavy burdens behind you. When you embody that, you start to notice people are drawn to you differently. Opportunities find you more effortlessly. And somehow, without battling so fiercely, the things you once struggled for start unfolding with less resistance and more enchantment. Because the energy of trust is not frantic, it's magnetic. And life always responds to the energy you exude, and here's where it becomes even more genuine. Most people don't trust life because they've been conditioned to trust fear more than possibility. From the moment we're young, we're taught to prepare for catastrophe, to anticipate betrayal, to shield ourselves from disappointment. So naturally, trusting feels unsafe. It feels reckless. It feels like you're standing on the edge of a precipice with no safety harness. But here's the concealed truth nobody shares with you. You're already standing on that precipice. You always have been. Because life was never controllable in the first place. All the plans, all the micromanaging, all the anxiety, they only create the illusion of security. Real security lies in learning to ride the waves, not attempting to dam the ocean. It's learning to be alive within the chaos, not fighting against it, not pleading for it to subside, but moving with it like a dance you've always instinctively known. When you lean into trust, you don't stop caring about your dreams. You just stop trying to wrestle them into existence. You stop suffocating them with pressure, and you realize something powerful. What's meant for you isn't fragile. It doesn't need you to squeeze it tighter. It needs you to meet it halfway with open palms and an open heart, not clenched fists. Every single thing you're trying to force right now, every person you're pursuing, every goal you're strangling, you're blocking it by gripping it with fear instead of meeting it with trust. And the moment you ease that grip, the moment you inhale and say, I trust life to guide me where I'm meant to go, everything starts to move faster, but softer, easier, more naturally, because you're no longer standing in your own way. And here's something nobody really discusses. Most of the struggle you feel in life isn't because you're doing the wrong things. It's because you're doing them with tension, with underlying fear, with that voice in your head whispering, if I don't make this happen, I'll lose everything. You start to grip harder. You start to panic when results don't appear immediately. You start to think, maybe I'm failing, when really you're just forcing. Life doesn't respond to force. It responds to alignment. When you're acting from fear, you create resistance. But when you're acting from trust, you create momentum. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who's effortlessly magnetic? Not because they're trying, not because they're desperate, but because they're relaxed, because they trust themselves, trust their path, and trust life to carry them. It's like they have a different energy field around them. And here's the secret. You can have that too. You don't need to become better or stronger or more impressive. You need to become lighter. You need to remember that you're already enough without needing to squeeze life into a perfect timeline. Because the moment you stop trying to control every outcome, the outcomes you want start flowing to you naturally. Like a river that finally finds its course when the boulders are cleared away. The less you panic, the more you open. The less you chase, the more you attract. The less you grip, the more you grow. It's not about doing less. It's about being different. You become a calmer, wiser version of yourself. Not because you forced it, but because you trusted yourself enough to allow it. Here's the real paradox nobody explains. The more you loosen your grip, the stronger your results become. It sounds almost unfair, right? You work so hard, you hustle. You grind, you control every detail, and somehow things slip through your fingers. But the moment you ease up, the right opportunities, the right people, the right moments, they start to land right in your lap. It's not magic, it's energy. When you're desperate, people feel it. Even if you smile, even if you say the right words, they can sense the tension underneath. That please work out energy pushes things away. But when you stop depending on the outcome to define you, you move differently. You talk differently. You walk into rooms differently. You don't need things to happen anymore. You choose for them to happen from a place of strength instead of survival. And that small internal shift changes everything. Because life, weirdly enough, mirrors your inner state. If you're constantly doubting, Life will keep throwing obstacles to test you. If you're constantly trusting, life starts throwing open doors you didn't even know existed. It's like this silent contract you have with reality. I'll trust you to unfold, and you'll trust me to show up. You don't wake up every morning panicking about when and how your dreams will happen. You wake up excited because you know they're already on their way. You walk lighter because the weight of needing it all right now disappears. You become magnetic not by chasing, but by being the person who already belongs to that bigger life. And honestly, that's where the real winners live. Not in a race to control everything, but in a dance with trust. You trust that life's delays are setups. You trust that missed opportunities are protection. You trust that what's for you is moving toward you, even when you can't see it yet. That's the hidden advantage that most people never tap into. They never realize that trust is the shortcut they were looking for all along. When you trust life, something even crazier starts to happen. You stop forcing timelines that aren't even meant for you. Most people are obsessed with speed. I need to make it happen now. If it's not happening yet, it must be failing. But here's the reality. Speed means nothing if you're racing toward the wrong thing. And trust, real trust, is the art of letting the right things take their natural shape, even if it's slower than your ego wants. Because what you force often breaks, and what you trust often builds itself stronger than you ever could have designed. Think about it. The biggest things in life, the ones that truly changed you, probably didn't arrive on your personal deadline. They showed up in their own time in ways you could have never planned. A friendship that came out of nowhere. An opportunity you didn't even apply for. A door that opened when you weren't even looking anymore. That's what life does when you stop screaming, "Where is it?" and start whispering, "I'm ready when you are." Because there's a rhythm to your life that's so much bigger than the pressure you feel right now. And when you step into trust, you align yourself with that rhythm. You stop interrupting your own blessings with fear. You stop rushing into places you were never meant to be. You stop shrinking every time things don't go according to your script. You let life surprise you in the best ways because you trust that the unseen things working for you are more powerful than the visible ones working against you. The funny part is, when you start living this way, people notice. They see you walking differently, speaking differently, radiating a peace they can't quite explain, and they wonder what changed. But you'll know it wasn't luck, it wasn't magic. It was trust, real trust. The kind that says, I don't chase, I align. I don't demand. I prepare. I don't panic. I receive. And that, my friend, is when life stops being a battle and starts feeling like a beautiful conversation you are finally patient enough to listen to. And here's the quiet secret you start to realize once you trust life enough. You're not missing out. You're not falling behind. You're not losing time. You're simply allowing yourself to breathe in a world that's always gasping for the next big thing. See, the ones who keep chasing every shiny moment are usually the ones who miss the real opportunities. Because real opportunities don't scream for your attention. They whisper. They show up when your mind is clear, when your hands aren't already gripping 5 other things in fear. Trusting life isn't about waiting around doing nothing. It's about living in a way where your peace becomes more magnetic than your panic. Where the right people, the right moments, and the right paths naturally start connecting with you. Not because you forced them, but because you made space for them. You begin to notice it in small ways first. That call you stopped obsessing over suddenly comes through. That opportunity you almost begged for, a better one crosses your path. When you least expect it. That connection you thought you lost forever finds its way back on better terms than you ever could have planned. Life rewards those who are willing to trust it with open hands. Not clenched fists, not desperate moves, but quiet confidence. It's almost a paradox. The less you force it, the faster it unfolds. The less you obsess over it, the more naturally it finds you. Because when you're not anchored in fear, you move differently, you speak differently. You radiate something people and opportunities want to be near. That's why you see it in those who've truly evolved. There's a calmness about them that makes no sense. They're not rushing to prove their worth. They're not trying to earn what's already on its way. And that could be you. That energy could be yours starting today. If you're tired of living in chase mode. If you're ready to experience how powerful you become when you stop forcing what's not yours to force, then it's time right now. Choose trust. Choose calm alignment. Choose to believe that life is not working against you. It's preparing something better than you imagined. If this spoke to you, if you're ready to let go and move differently from today on, drop the word "align" down below in the comments. Let's see how many of us are shifting into a different kind of power together. Quiet, calm, certain, aligned. Your next chapter doesn't start with more chasing. It starts with more trusting. As you continue on this journey, remember that trust is not a one-time decision, but a continuous practice. Each day presents new opportunities to choose trust over fear, to embrace the unknown with open arms rather than resist it with clenched fists. It's in these daily choices that you'll find your true strength and resilience. You'll discover that trust is not about blindly hoping for the best, but about knowing deep within your heart that you are capable, that you are worthy, and that life is unfolding in your favor, even when it doesn't seem like it. In moments of doubt, remind yourself of the times when trust has carried you through. Reflect on the instances when letting go has led to outcomes far greater than you could have imagined. These memories are your anchors, your proof that trust is not just a concept, but a lived experience. They are the reminders that you are not alone in this journey, that life is conspiring to bring you the very best, and that your role is to trust and allow. So as you move forward, carry this wisdom with you. Let it guide your actions, shape your thoughts, and inspire your heart. Trust that life is not happening to you but for you. Trust that every step you take, every choice you make, is leading you closer to the life you are meant to live. And most importantly, trust yourself. Trust your ability to navigate the twists and turns, to rise above the challenges, and to embrace the beauty of the journey. For in the end, it is trust that will light your way and lead you home. As you walk this path of trust, you'll find that the world around you begins to reflect the peace and certainty within you. The relationships you cultivate will deepen, not out of necessity or fear, but from a place of genuine connection and mutual respect. Your work will flourish, not because you're driving yourself relentlessly, but because you're aligned with your true purpose and passion. Your days will be filled with a sense of ease and flow, as if life itself is conspiring to support you in every way. And as you look back on your journey, you'll see that the moments of greatest growth and transformation were not the ones you forced or struggled through, but the ones you allowed to unfold naturally with trust and faith. You'll realize that the challenges you faced were not obstacles to overcome, but opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. You'll understand that the setbacks and detours were not failures, but necessary steps on the path to your true destiny. In this place of trust, you'll find a new sense of freedom and liberation. You'll no longer be bound by the need to control or manipulate outcomes, but will instead be guided by an inner knowing that all is well and unfolding as it should. You'll discover a deep and abiding peace that transcends circumstances and external conditions, a peace that comes from knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. And as you continue to trust and allow, you'll find that your life becomes a beautiful and sacred dance, a symphony of synchronicity and grace. You'll be amazed at the way things fall into place, at the perfect timing of events, and at the ease with which your dreams and desires manifest. You'll marvel at the beauty and magic of life, and at the infinite possibilities that await you when you choose to trust and let go. So, dear friend, as you stand on the precipice of this new way of being, Remember that trust is not a destination, but a journey. It's a continuous practice of letting go, of surrendering to the flow of life, and of embracing the unknown with open arms. It's a journey of discovery and transformation, of growth and evolution, and of deep and abiding faith in the goodness and wisdom of life. And as you take each step on this journey, know that you are not alone. You are supported and guided by a loving and benevolent universe, by the wisdom of your heart, and by the strength of your spirit. You are held in the palm of life's hand, and you are being carried toward your highest good and greatest joy. So, trust, dear one. Trust in yourself, in life, and in the journey. Trust that all is well and unfolding as it should. Trust that you are exactly where you're meant to be, and that you are being guided toward your true destiny. And as you trust, you'll find that your life becomes a beautiful and sacred dance, a symphony of synchronicity and grace, and a testament to the power and wisdom of trust. May your journey be filled with blessings, with joy, and with the deep and abiding peace that comes from trusting in life and in yourself. And may you always remember that you are loved, supported, and guided on this journey, and that you are never alone. Trust, dear one. Trust and let go. And watch as your life unfolds in ways more beautiful and magical than you ever could have imagined.